Shohei Ohtani agrees to sign with Angels. The Japanese Babe Ruth is coming to Los Angeles. Star free agent Shohei Ohtani agreed to sign with the Angels on Friday. It guarantees him a minuscule $2.32 million compared to the potential $200 million plus he would have received by staying in Japan and delaying his Major League Baseball career by 2 years. Instead, the 23-year-old Ohtani, a starting pitcher whose fastball has reached 102 miles per hour and whose powerful left-handed swing will allow him to play in the lineup when he isn't pitching, forsook generational riches for an opportunity to test himself against the world's greatest players. And after narrowing his finalists to 7 and allowing each team a 2-hour presentation earlier in the week, he chose the Angels. In addition to the meager signing bonus for Ohtani, the top-ranked player on Yahoo Sports' ultimate free agent tracker, the Angels will pay his previous team, the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters, a $20 million posting fee. Immediately Ohtani becomes one of the biggest bargains in baseball, a projected frontline starter whose two-way excellence is expected to be rewarded with fairly regular playing time when he's not pitching. The league's new collective bargaining agreement limits teams on signing bonuses for international players younger than 25, putting Ohtani in a position in which the Fighters will reap more guaranteed money than him many times over, particularly with him set to make the major league minimum of $545,000 this season, and not being eligible for free agency until after the 2023 season. Over 5 years with the Fighters, the 6'4", 220-pound Ohtani went 42-15 with a 2.52 ERA and struck out 624 in 543 innings. In 2016, he slugged 22 home runs, a number that dipped during an injury-riddled 2017 season in which his pitch command lagged, but his bat remained powerful. The two-way player is something of an anachronism in baseball, and compounded with the cultural transition every foreign player must endure, the notion of Ohtani pitching and hitting regularly while still acclimating is daunting indeed. Ohtani still lived in the Fighters' dorms during his final season there, and did not seek any of the celebrity that eventually surrounded him. A fear of living in a fishbowl kept him from making the New York Yankees, one of the presumed favorites, even a finalist. The 6 other teams that attended meetings with Ohtani were the Dodgers, Mariners, Padres, Rangers, Giants, and Cubs. All are terribly disappointed, knowing they had a chance at one of the most unique free agents in baseball history and couldn't close a deal. Like everyone else, they'll watch from afar with curiosity and intrigue, wondering if Ohtani is anywhere close to as good as the colossal hype that shrouds him suggests. Shohei Ohtani signs with the Angels. Here's how they may use the two-way star. It took only 7 days for Japanese ace/slugger Shohei Ohtani to pick a new team. On Friday, 7 days after being posted by the Nippon Ham Fighters, Los Angeles Angels, he had until 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time on December 22 to sign, but decided to wrap things up quickly. This morning, after a thorough, detailed process, Shohei Ohtani has decided to sign with the Los Angeles Angels, said his agent in a statement. Shohei is humbled and flattered by all the time and effort that so many teams put into their presentations, and sincerely thanks them for their professionalism. In the end, he felt a strong connection with the Angels and believes they can best help him reach his goals in Major League Baseball. With the Angels, Ohtani will team up with the world's best player in Mike Trout, the world's best defensive shortstop in Andrelton Simmons, and one of the best hitters in history in Albert Pujols. Can't complain about that. The Angels went 80-82 in 2017 and finished 5 games back of a wild card spot. Ohtani and a full season of Justin Upton could push them into the postseason in 2018. In recent weeks, Ohtani had become known amongst fans as the Babe Ruth of Japan because of his pitching and hitting ability, and the Angels will certainly give Ohtani a chance to continuing playing both ways. How will that work? Exactly what kind of ability are we talking here? That's what we're all still trying to find out. Here's what we know for now. Ohtani pitched once a week in Japan. With the Fighters these last 2 years, Ohtani would pitch on Sunday and serve as the DH between starts. He stopped playing the outfield 2 years ago because the team didn't want to put too much on him physically. And also because they wanted him to focus on his offense and not worry about his defense. Pitchers in Japan start once a week, not once every 5 days like in MLB. So the Angels and Ohtani will have to sit down and figure out a schedule that works going forward. And they might not get it right on the first try. They might have to tweak things as they go until they find the right schedule. A 6-man rotation is in consideration. Clearly, the Angels want to get as much production out of Ohtani as possible, but they also don't want him to risk injury. Keeping a starting pitcher healthy is tough enough. Keeping a starting pitcher who hits between starts will be even more difficult. Here's Ohtani's regular schedule in Japan, as well as potential schedules with the Angels. Is 1 day of rest after a start and 1 day of rest before a start enough? That's what Ohtani and the Angels will figure out. I expect the Halos to use scheduled team off days to give him that extra breather whenever possible. That much is for sure. Ohtani had ankle surgery in October. It should be noted Ohtani has currently worked his way back from October ankle surgery. He hurt the ankle last fall when he ran through first base awkwardly in an exhibition game. Ohtani played on the ankle, as well as a nagging quad injury, all season, which limited his playing time. The good news is the ankle procedure was relatively minor, and Ohtani has already resumed some off-season workouts. He'll be ready in time for spring training. The surgery is another reason for the Angels to play it safe, however. Ohtani's projections are outstanding. This season Ohtani hit .332, .403, .540 with 8 home runs in 231 plate appearances, while throwing 25 1/3 innings with a 3.20 ERA around the ankle and quad injuries. Last year, when fully healthy, Ohtani authored a .322, .416, .588 batting line with 22 home runs in 382 plate appearances, while throwing 140 innings with a 1.86 ERA and 174 strikeouts. That earned him league MVP honors. Of course, the level of competition in Japan is a notch or two below MLB, so expecting Ohtani to put up those numbers with the Angels is unfair. That doesn't mean he can't be a productive player, of course. The statistical translations and projections expect him to produce something along these lines in 2018. As a hitter, .266, .328, .466, 112 ops plus 12 HR, plus 2.2 WAR and 305 at bats. As a pitcher, 3.55 ERA, 119 ERA plus 10.4 K9, plus 3.3 WAR and 139.1 innings. On a rate basis. That is Evan Gattis at the plate and Jacob deGrom on the mound. The Angels would sign up for that in a heartbeat. That's an impact pitcher and a dangerous hitter. Projections are not perfect, of course, but at least it gives us a ballpark idea of what is possible next season. Scouting reports acknowledge the risk. Aside from YouTube clips that are sliced and diced to make Ohtani look like the greatest baseball player who ever lived, very few MLB fans have seen Ohtani play regularly. So, to get an idea of his ability, Kyle Glaser of Baseball America spoke to players who competed against Ohtani in Japan. Here's what former Mariners outfielder Stephen Romero said about Ohtani as a pitcher. His fastball is hittable, Romero said. I feel like it's hittable to American players because it's straight. There's not a lot of movement. It's hard, but it is straight. It's more of like an overhand, 3/4 arm slot, so it's not too difficult to pick up. But it's his off-speed pitches that he can throw for strikes and have the same arm slot and arm speed with that will get you in trouble. His forkball, it looks just like a fastball but it drops 2 feet straight down. It starts at your thigh and looks just like a 100 miles per hour fastball, and then it just drops 2 feet into the dirt. His off-speed stuff is pretty legit. Ohtani is the hardest throwing pitcher in Japanese baseball history. He broke his own record for the fastest pitch several times over and has topped out at 102 miles per hour. Hitters can catch up to 102 miles per hour if it's straight and in the strike zone, so Ohtani will have to use his slider and splitter forkball to have success, and fortunately those two pitches are high quality. Now here's what former big league journeyman reliever Dennis Arfate told Glazer about Ohtani as a hitter. "I think I faced him 11 times and I think I gave up a single and triple. And the single was actually a squiggler down the third baseline that he beat out," Sarfate said. "He's got decent plate awareness. The only problem I see him having issues with early on, and he can make the adjustment, is fastballs in. Japanese guys tend to stay away from him. I think it's a lot of respect and they don't want to throw a fastball in and break his arm or hit him in the elbow. I think he's aware of that no one pitches him in. I pitch him in and have had good success going in. Big league pitchers aren't afraid to go in. They don't care who you are. And that's going to be his one adjustment he's going to have to make." The pitching has been flagged as the primary concern for Ohtani at the plate. He's a left-handed hitter and right-handed thrower, so his pitching arm is exposed during his at-bats, which is unusual and risky. There is much more velocity in MLB than there is in Japan. Turn on any random MLB game during the season and you'll likely see 2 or 3 guys coming out of the bullpen pumping 97-98 miles per hour fastballs with ease. Ohtani will have to adjust to that velocity and the inevitable barrage of inside pitches. The most important thing for Ohtani and the Angels is to find a schedule that works. A schedule that allows him to contribute on both sides of the ball, while ensuring he gets enough rest and recovery time. I think the Angels will try their best to go with a 6-man rotation, which not only means more rest for Ohtani, but also means more rest for guys like Garrett Richards, Tyler Skaggs, and Andrew Heaney, each of whom missed time with significant injuries in 2017. It is also important to note Ohtani is a 23-year-old kid. This is not a grizzled veteran. He is 1 day older than Red Sox outfielder Andrew Benintendi. He's 4 months younger than Yankees ace Luis Severino and 2 months younger than Dodgers shortstop Corey Seager. Ohtani is, for all intents and purposes, a prospect. That means he has a lot of great years ahead of him, but also some adjustments to make, both on the field and off the field as he moves to the new country.